Love. Some would say it took a backseat when the pandemic forced us apart. As a family-run and proudly Canadian-owned company, Charm Diamond Centers saw the need to bring us together with tales of love and created the Canadian Love Map podcast. Since then, we've shared hundreds of real, uplifting stories that prove love conquers all. So thank you for listening. We couldn't do it without you. And remember, love starts here.
This is a true Canadian love story.
We were meant to be together.
I can't imagine my life without you.
Honestly, he's the light of my life.
It's nice to be in that tractor beam of love.
I'm her biggest fan.
I think I knew I'd lost my heart again.
I knew I wanted a marriage like that.
Difficult roads can lead to very beautiful destinations.
Well, love is the most important thing.
Hi, I'm Nancy Regan, and this week we're back with bonus episodes to wrap up our 4th season. Canadian Love Map producer Nathan Stone has been hitting the streets to find out what Canadians think and feel about love. As we all know, love is not a straight line. It's complex. This week, we ask our participants to reflect on the ups and downs in their relationships and whether it's all worth it. This is the Canadian Love Map.
We're back outside with more questions for Canadians. This week, we're asking interviewees to reflect on their relationships.
We don't really fight a lot. We just kind of go with the flow, trust each other.
We've known each other since 2017, and we've been together for almost 3 years now.
In today's episode, we want to know more about the ups and downs of relationships and the meaning of love.
It means commitment and trust and always being there for each other no matter what comes your way.
One of the best parts of, having a partner is falling in love and continuing being in love, because no matter what, at the end of the day, however you're feeling, you will be loved.
But let's start with how these couples deal with disagreements.
We are right now.
Yeah.
So we've put aside some time to talk about it. While in the meantime, continuing on and treating each other as normal, but knowing that we have dedicated space and time to work it through.
It's definitely something that we're still working on.
I would say we just kind of have to, we've had this discussion, so, when you meet someone, you're never going to have 100% in common. So just whatever the, 10% differences you have, you just got to work with the other person and learn to adapt to what the differences are,
Yeah.
You got to tolerate it. And
it depends, It depends how much effort you want to put into the relationship. So,
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, 4 years.
keep positive.
Yeah.
Nothing too serious so far, but I think it's just because we mainly just talk about it pretty openly with each other. We kind of knew that from the start, that was how we both were. I've been in relationships in the past where we did the kind of fight it out thing, and it was just terrible.
Try to talk to them. Obviously, it's hard when you're, on opposite ends of the spectrum and fighting, but you just have to talk it out and get over it.
Yeah, I think being together so young as well, we've had to grow up together. So that in itself is a big challenge, which I think we've obviously navigated pretty well 5 years later.
Well, we just kind of sometimes depending on the challenge and stuff, we can either talk it through and work it out and just kind of create a little plan to kind of figure it out, or sometimes if it's a little more heated, just give each other a few minutes of space just to kind of relax and then move on to trying to problem solve instead of in the heat of the moment.
I'm of the mindset that, if there's a problem, I need to talk it out. I need to address it and get it taken care of so that, we don't have a buildup of resentment or animosity about it. I know there are times when, sometimes either myself or Danny will get worked up over something and just need a couple of minutes to cool down before, addressing it. But, if you can't talk it out and you just kind of let it go, that's just a bad recipe for, further resentment and animosity. So.
Well, I know early in the relationship, I told you that
sometimes it would take me a little while to process my feelings if something had upset me, or if there was other outside forces. And that, I think, was because I didn't always feel heard in other relationships, so it was kind of relearning how to communicate that way, and Ed was a big part in helping me kind of learn a healthier communication style. So it served us really well in the 7 years that we've been together.
It's the good things that make us stick around when the going gets tough. So we're asking respondents to share the best parts of their relationships.
So we love doing a lot of outdoor stuff, and that has really been something that we bond over.
Yeah, I definitely share interests like that pretty similarly. We've been everywhere on little adventures, Ontario, now out here.
Australia.
They're all great. I don't know, each new adventure seems better than the last.
Yeah. I think it's because we're best friends, and I think that's our favorite part, is that we're just so comfortable with each other, and we're safe to talk about anything.
Ed is just kind and compassionate, and overall has allowed me to grow and mature, and that together, I think we make each other better people.
That, and we both really strive to make the other person laugh and just be goofy, and being able to kind of let our defenses down and not have to put up airs around each other. I don't have to worry about trying to maintain a certain type of personality or appearance. I can just be me with all of my flaws, and I don't get any resentment or judgment from it.
We're friends first. We were best friends for about 2 years before we started dating, so it makes our relationship so much better. It's just all the open communication that you have as friends, and it's just kind of translated into the romantic side of things too.
In this final section, we're asking respondents what they believe to be the meaning of love.
I'd say it's a combination of everything, sharing the same interests.
Respect.
Yeah, kind of the way your thought process, getting along, having the same opinions on things.
Mm-hmm. Being there for the other person when times are tough, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just to fully accept the person for who they are and just be there for them all of the time that you can.
Yeah, I think that's so true, because that translates romantically, platonically, any type of relationship that you have with somebody that you could say you love them, your parents, your friends, what have you.
First, there is, of course, many different types of love, and I think that's something that we kind of forget, that the type of love that Ed and I have is multifaceted, that, there's the romantic love, but there's also the friendship and the community that you build around yourself, and the people that you surround yourself with is a different type of love, of building togetherness. And I feel like sometimes we don't celebrate that enough. So when it comes to love, what it means to me is that it's really about sharing in that togetherness, that we should do more of it.
Just being able to accept somebody for who they are, what they are, their gifts, their talents, their shortcomings, their flaws. I know that I have a lot of flaws, and despite that, Danny still loves me.
That does it for this week's bonus episode. Tune in next week for more Canadian Love Map. A big thanks to the participants in today's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to the Canadian Love Map. If you love us, please subscribe and share. And if you want to help us spread the love even more, rate and review our podcast. We'll be back next week with another love story to add to the map. This podcast is presented and made possible by Charm Diamond Centers. It's hosted by me, Nancy Regan, and is produced and distributed by Podstarter.
This
has been
a Podstarter
production.